Imagine standing at a crossroads with two paths before you. One of those paths is safe, it's easy, it's well lit and familiar. The other, though, is hard, it's risky, it's shrouded in uncertainty and challenge. Instinctively, and understandably so, we lean towards the safe and easy route because we want to avoid discomfort and danger. But what if God is calling us to go down the harder path? What if the place of greatest growth and greatest blessing lies beyond the risk and the unknown? We were in this past week in Ruth chapter 3 where we see Ruth, she lies at Boaz's feet, which was a risky choice, a risky path. She placed herself in a vulnerable position, risking rejection, risking misunderstanding, and this was to follow Naomi's guidance. But what we don't see is that this ultimately has her pursuing God's provision for her future. In our lives, we often face moments where we need to take this bold step of faith down the risky path. These moments are filled with uncertainty and, yes, risk. But Ruth's story teaches us that amidst the risk, that faith requires action even when the outcome is not guaranteed. Her willingness to take this risk was based on wise counsel, but also in her ultimate trust in God's plan. And this is a powerful example for us. And so let's get practical with it today with 4 things. Number 1 is to identify your threshing floor moment. Reflect on an area in your life where you feel like God is calling you to take the harder path, where God is calling you to step out in faith. This could be a new job, a relationship, a move, a ministry opportunity. And so what is your threshing floor moment where you need to take a step of faith despite the uncertainties? Number 2 is to seek godly counsel. Just as Ruth listened to Naomi, we need to seek advice from those who are spiritually mature, those who have a strong relationship with God. Proverbs 15:22 helps reinforce this when it says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. We need to find people who can provide wisdom, who can provide encouragement as we're about to take these steps of faith. That gets to number 3, prepare and act. Ruth, she prepared herself by washing, anointing herself, dressing in her best clothing, waiting for the right time. You see, preparation is crucial. So for us, it starts with some basics. It starts with prayer, studying the word, and then we can make these practical preparations for the step that we're about to take. And then once the preparing, the praying, the planning is there, we move forward with confidence, trusting that God will guide our steps. And number 4, trust in God's faithfulness. You see, when Ruth laid at Boaz's feet, she's not just showing interest in Boaz, but she's also expressing her trust in God's provision through Boaz. And so similarly, we must take bold steps and place our trust in God's faithfulness. He's always with us. He's always guiding us. He's always supporting us, even when we can't see the full picture. The reality is the journey may have many uncertainties and many bumps along the way. But one thing remains certain, God's presence in the journey. And so the 4 things: find your threshing floor moment. Seek godly counsel. Prepare and then act, and then trust in God's faithfulness. And so your engagement question for today: what is an area or where you were given a crossroads, if you will, of 2 paths, one easy and one more difficult, and yet you chose to step out in faith because you felt God calling you down the risky, the difficult path? We'd love to see your answers in the Church Center app below.